everyone, and welcome back into Holy Chaos on Tap, the podcast where the kids are loud, the coffee is lukewarm, and I am just trying to herd cats around the house. I am your host, Nick, the Catholic dad who has absolutely, without question, eaten Christmas cookies so far for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and justified it as fasting because I can't find time to eat anything else in terms of a proper meal. Seriously though, how hard is it to stay on schedule for not only your health in terms of working out, but health in terms of eating? And this is where I have a hard time believing what the social media algorithms show in terms of parents who have kids, but then also have time to work out, eat healthy, run races, clean the house, go to work, whatever. I don't believe it. I remember when we first had our twins, I was going on about 2 hours of sleep. It was very, very tough having two babies at one time. I understand now why Marines are sleep deprived when they're going through their boot camp, because during basic training, when you're sleep deprived like that, I'm sure you can't think straight. I know I couldn't think straight. It's a whole different ball game. But seriously, when you are just go all the time and you don't have time to cook a proper meal or even have time to sit down and think, snacks are the go-to. And if a box of Christmas cookies are sitting around, yes, absolutely. That is my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. It's so hard. It's why I can't have cookies or chips around. That's the easiest thing. Just don't have cookies or snacks around, and then I won't eat it. I have no willpower. And then when it comes to having a scheduled time to go work out, last week on December 1st, I told myself that would be a good time to start walking and running again. I'm a person that likes, clean lines, clean start. December 1st happened to fall on a Monday, very clean. But here in St. Louis, we got a snowstorm on Monday, so no running or walking. Then this week I said, okay, I'll start on Monday. Nope, my oldest was home on Monday because of feeling under the weather and not going to school. So I told my wife, seriously, how are we supposed to find time to eat healthy, exercise, do all the other things around the house that is required when raising 3 little kids, all 5 and under? It's so easy to get sidetracked and off course and off schedule. And before you know it, you're just sitting in an unhealthy routine of monotony and repeated tasks that sometimes can feel joyless, just sucking the joy out of your life. For me, I can get into a bit of depressed funk if I'm not working out or doing something around a physical activity. I grew up playing sports. I played rec sports through my adult life and ran races a lot, but obviously that all was put aside when I had kids. My job was to be a father, be there for my kids, not off running races every weekend and training nonstop for said races, because when you're running races on a consistent basis, you also have to have training runs, 3, 4, 5 times during the week. However, if something like that used to be a stress reliever for me or brought me happiness, than being in the everyday routine of fatherhood and parent life without that stuff, it can definitely get you down. Which brings us to today's movie in our series, Raising Little Saints with TV Screens. And today we're talking about the show, the movie that has so much joy, it's just oozing joy. It's Elf, a movie that somehow manages to be ridiculous, heartwarming, loud, sparkly, sticky, deeply theological, which is also how I would describe parenting. But here's the point. Elf teaches us something important about family life, especially dad life. Joy isn't an accident. Wonder isn't a personality trait. Presence isn't a luxury. They're spiritual practices, choices, discipline. Buddy the Elf shows us how. And I bet you're wondering, how is Nick going to associate the movie Elf to shaking off the monotony of dad life or the parent life, the parent routine? Well, let's dive into Elf, Rediscovering Joy in the Family Routine, here on Holy Chaos on Tap. All right, so this week I am going with eggnog, good holiday drink. And if you're a fan of Elf, the movie, you will know that I do have some syrup in my eggnog. Syrup in coffee? Why didn't I think of that? So if you're a fan of Elf, you know what this syrup is. But yes, so going with eggnog this week. So let me know, hit me up in the comments what you're drinking as you're listening to the show, whether it be morning, afternoon, evening, winding down, whatnot. So, all right, let's go. So I've already talked about how sometimes the monotony of dad life or parent life can really get you down. I've been feeling it a lot lately, honestly. And I don't know if you've listened to the show enough. I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is kind of going in and out. It's already because I have been hit in our family with the flu bug, and it's been, kind of going around. When you got kids that are 5 and under, people just get sick, it passes around. I have avoided it for the most part until the last couple of days where, I started to get a little scratch in my throat, and started to drink the airborne and hope that helps. But seriously, I mentioned how I'm an active person. I like to get up and go. And recently, while playing in a men's soccer game up at church, I tore my calf muscle. Just an incredibly painful injury that I did not expect was going to happen, and pretty much sidelined me from running and walking for a while. I was just in a boot. And, going outside, walking, running, playing sports, that's really how I have a bit of a stress relief, and I've been limited to just maybe doing push-ups, which is, how many of those can you do? I guess you can do a lot of them, but it's just boring for me. And so this month I was ready to start walking and doing a slight jog. It might be a yog, could be a silent J. Another Will Ferrell reference for you. If you can pick up on that, let me know. But on my calendar, I circled December 1st because, again, it's a clean start to the month, to Monday, but then a snowstorm hit. And so then the next Monday of the week, I thought I could kick it off, but my son was homesick. So again, I'm in the endless dad cycle of not being able to do what is a bit of a stress relief for me, something that brings me joy, something that can get me out of my low doldrums of the feelings that you sometimes get, of the monotony of the days. It's exercise. It's healthy. There have been days where I wake up and my life just feels like it's on a loop. Same routine. Get the twins up, get the diapers changed, change the clothes, get the kids ready for daycare, get it in school, get them dressed and out the door. Same breakfast, same drive to and from. Same kid asking the same question that they asked yesterday and the day before and 2 months ago. I mean, it's seriously, there's a park we drive by on the way to daycare that has fireworks. And they have fireworks on July 4th. And every morning, without fail, since 4th of July has passed, my daughter, when we drive by, she says, "Fireworks all gone?" And I'm like, "Yep. Yeah, they're all gone." I don't know how many more times she has to ask before she believes they're all gone. And we're here in December and she's still asking the same question. It's like Groundhog Day. And in those moments, joy feels far, far away. And it just doesn't seem like it's present in the monotony of the everyday, like something for other families, or maybe something you see on an Instagram feed where there's joy in those posts, like something that maybe existed when I was a kid but has since evaporated somewhere around my third cup of coffee. But then you watch Buddy the Elf, and that insanely enthusiastic, overly optimistic, sugar-powdered adult child, and suddenly he's teaching you how to be a good human being again. He walks into New York City and treats every inconvenience like an adventure. I can barely get through the 5-minute car ride between home and my kids' daycare without losing my patience at another driver. And it's just like I have to catch my breath and remember, okay, is it a big deal? I'm getting upset because my kids left their markers spread across my newly cleaned and organized countertop. This is where Buddy has something dads lose over time: joy, wonder, presence. Buddy is joyful in a way adults just forget how to be. Some might say he's joyful because he's naive. I think he might be joyful because his heart is wide open. He sees life with childlike attention. Again, a common theme we see in the episodes I've done over the season, Raising Little Saints with TV Screens: childlike attention, being like a child, And the Bible verse, Matthew 19:14, Jesus said, "Let the children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." We see it over and over again how childlike tendencies can teach adults how to be closer to God. Buddy sees life through the eyes of a child. Snowflakes are gifts. Parents see snow and think, oh no, a snow day. What am I going to do with my kids? I got to go to work. It's like I got to readjust all my schedules, my calendars. They see it as an inconvenience. Kids don't. Kids see it as a gift, as a miracle. Elevators are playgrounds. Parents see elevators as a place kids need to behave, don't cause a scene. Breakfast is an art form. Parents might see breakfast as a potential mess of spilled milk, food on the floor, and another thing to clean up. People are miracles. Parents might see certain people and find distrust or annoyance with them, but by how they conduct themselves. Every interaction is an opportunity for delight with Buddy. How often as parents do we look at life like that? Not as a chore or as a burden, but an opportunity for delight, to find the joy in the situation. Buddy doesn't ignore the world's messiness, he reframes it. Adults walk through life thinking, what now? I know I do. I often hear a kid screaming or something fall and think, what now? If I'm downstairs or if I'm in another room and I hear something, I just think, okay, what now? I sometimes think that with my wife too. I don't mean to, but sometimes it just comes out. I might be doing something with the kids. I might have been on my feet taking care of them, doing different things, and my wife is in the bedroom putting laundry away or cleaning or tidying up one of the bedrooms, and my wife doesn't know that I'm out in the kitchen just going back and forth with all three kids doing different things. And then when I finally get the kids to a point where they're content and I sit on the couch to rest, I hear my wife call my name and I think, what now? As I begrudgingly get up, and when she sees me, all she sees in the look of my face that is not pure joy, she reflects that. She sees that I'm not willing to come up and yes, dear. Buddy walks through life thinking, what joy can I bring into this? How different of a family life would we have with this train of thought? In the previous situation, I will say, yes, dear. And while it sometimes comes off as sincere with joy, other times I'm sure it comes off as less joyful. and that's the first spiritual truth in this whole episode. Joy changes the atmosphere. How you interact, how you are with your wife or your kids in your house, it changes the atmosphere. I mean, I think it's obvious that's the case. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because someone chooses to bring joy into a situation. Someone chooses that joy is better than strife. As dads, we underestimate this. We think joy is optional. We think it's extra. We think we need to be serious all the time, responsible all the time, or God forbid, stressed all the time. But joy is not childish. Joy is not immature. Joy is not something you're too old for. Joy is Christian living. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness. Not the fruit of vacation, not the fruit of free time, not the fruit of finally getting caught up. Joy is something the Spirit grows in us, meaning joy takes intention, joy takes surrender, joy takes noticing, joy takes practice. And here's the truth. Joy is not the feeling that follows good circumstances. Joy is the posture that transforms them. Buddy the Elf transforms rooms, transforms moods, transforms people. Not because he has boundless energy and he's dressed like an elf, but because he has a boundless heart. As dads, husbands, parents, we have a responsibility to be the emotional climate of our homes. I'm not talking about the fake cheerfulness or to pretend everything is fine when things are not fine. That's obviously not what you want to do. But to choose joy even in the mundane routines of waking up, getting the kids dressed, getting breakfast, taking them to daycare, school, whatnot, doing the mundane things, Joy is not childish. Joy it's Christ-like. Philippians chapter 4, verse 4. Joy and peace. Rejoice in the Lord always. I shall say it again, rejoice. Your kindness should be known to all. The Lord is near. Have no anxiety at all, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, make your requests known to God. Then the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. But he doesn't rejoice in circumstances. He rejoices in presence, in connection, in people. One of the most powerful parts of Elf is Buddy's childlike wonder. Again and again, this keeps coming up. It's a common theme across all of these shows and movies that I've been talking about through the series Raising Little Saints with TV screens. I've been shocked by how much it keeps coming up, but it just keeps reappearing. Jesus tells us in the Gospels, unless you become like little children. Children notice everything. A tiny snowflake, a silly sound, a light on the tree, a weird shaped pancake, a moment of attention from dad. Wonder is not about being impressed. It's about being present. And being present is the best present we can give to our kids this Christmas season. Adults lose wonder because we lose attention. How often are we as parents distracted by anything and everything, taking our attention away from what can bring joy? We stop seeing. We stop noticing things. We rush past everything. We live in autopilot. Buddy, he doesn't do that. He notices everything. He receives every moment like a gift, even when it's absurd or inconvenient. Wonder is not immaturity. Wonder is spiritual attentiveness. Psalms 126:2. Then our mouths were filled with laughter. Our tongues sang for joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. That's not childish. That's holy. So let's talk about presence. Buddy's greatest power is not his sugar intake, it's not his snowball making skills, and it's definitely not his rapping skills. It's his attention. He's fully present with everyone he interacts with. Jovi, Walter, Michael, strangers on the street, store managers, security guards, the guy in the mailroom who says he's 26 but he's clearly 45. Anyone who crosses his path. And his presence transforms them. Presence is the most underrated superpower in fatherhood. And that, I think, his presence at the end of the movie when they're going through all the different scenes of when people are singing, the greatest way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. They're flashing to all the different places where Buddy was at, and everybody is singing and they're happy. They're full of joy. That was his impact in all the people and all the situations that he had. His presence with those people. Presence is the most underrated superpower in fatherhood. Your kids don't remember whether you answered every email, whether the house was perfect, whether you fixed every problem. They will remember if you sat with them, if you listened to them, if you laughed with them, you played for 5 minutes with them, you let them show you something, you entered their world. That's Buddy. He enters people's worlds completely. John 10:10, I came so that they might have life and have it more abundantly. Abundant life comes from presence, from connection, from hearts open to each other. So here's the reflection for dads, moms, parents, anyone raising tiny humans and listening to this show right now. We cannot control our homes. We cannot perfect our routines. We cannot schedule peace into existence, but we can bring joy. We can practice wonder, offer presence. These three little things shift the atmosphere of the home more than any system, schedule, or strategy. Joy softens hearts. Wonder opens eyes. Presence builds connection. When your kids see you laugh, something in them expands. When your kids see you being a good, loving partner to your wife or your husband, they notice that. When you show them love, they give love back. When you show wonder at their world, something in them awakens. When you sit with them, even briefly, something in them anchors. Buddy the Elf reminds us that the spiritual life is not primarily about doing more. It's about seeing more, enjoying more, loving more, showing up more, being there for people, being present with them. There's a lot of times where, I'll go out and I'll see people and they're in, restaurant, coffee house, they're walking with friends or whatever, and they're with somebody, but they're not really present. You can see it because they're either on their phone, scrolling through things, or they're just, you can tell they're not present and they're not attentive to it. And it's what's sad is I see that with families too, even at restaurants and things. It's like all everybody's sitting at the table on some type of device. They're all together, but they're not present. It's about being present and bringing joy into everybody's life. It's about seeing more, enjoying more, loving more, showing up more. Joy is a virtue, a wonder. It's a gift. Presence is prayer. So at the beginning of the episode, I talked about how I've definitely felt the groundhog effect, the going through the routine, the mundane monotony of the everyday life. This week, during the mundane, the routine, the typical groundhog day of life that you might be feeling like me as a dad or a mom, stop and think about practicing one thing, one joyful thing a day. Just one. It doesn't need to be big. Sing with your kids. Sing with your kids. My kids love to sing, and they love when we sing with them. Dance with them. My kids love dancing, and I love when I dance with them. Don't be embarrassed. You're at home. There's no reason to be embarrassed. Just you're in your home with your kids. Your coworkers aren't seeing you. Your friends that you don't want to know that you are dancing and singing with your kids aren't going to see you. But your kids will love it. Laugh with them. Sit on the floor with them. Get on their level. Notice something beautiful. My daughter at 2.5 loves putting dresses on and putting outfits on. Every time she puts her dress on, her Belle outfit, her Anna outfit, or a new shirt, she runs over to me and I tell her how pretty and beautiful she looks. And she just lights up. She has started to do the same with her older brother, and he's 5.5. He's picked up on my cues and does the same thing, opposed to just ignoring her, and he's just, yeah, whatever. He sees her come over now, and he does the same thing. He says, "You look so pretty," or "You look so beautiful," and she loves it. It brings her so much joy, and I can see it in both their faces. Also, thank God for just one ordinary gift. Let joy soften your home. Let wonder open your eyes. Let presence deepen your relationships. Galatians 5:22, I mentioned this earlier in the episode. The fruit of the Spirit is joy. So here is your closing prayer for the week. Something short and sweet, not as long as my previous ones. So really quick. May God grow joy in your life. May He restore wonder to your heart. And may your presence be a gift of peace to your family. Amen. Thanks again for listening, and if this episode spoke to you and you know another dad that might like the episode, please share it with them or tag them on YouTube and Instagram. Speaking of which, please give the show a follow on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube. Comment on ways you are bringing joy into your family. Each share, like, and comment expands the Dad Network and lets us know we're all in the same boat, just trying to raise little saints with TV screens. Thanks for listening, and until next time, cheers.